Minnesota. My name's Dan Beaupre. I was nominated to represent you as a council member, and I accepted. I'm here. Today I wanted to give you some insight as to my ideas of what would make a better Michipicoten community. First off, I'd like to thank the organizers for putting this together. They did a tremendous job, and got such short amount of time. A little background on myself for those of you who aren't too familiar with me. My parents are Francis and Jean-Louis Beaupre. I come from the Tangi background. They both grew up in Northern Ontario, or my mom did. She's grew up around the Oba, France, ACR area. I come from a family with parents who taught me to be proud of who I am and where I come from. The importance of strong family values and the morals to respect all walks of life. I was going to try to wing this, but obviously I'm not very good at winging, so I got my notes with me. I have a wife and 2 children. I respect our ancestral heritage, history, and traditions. It's also important to keep those traditions alive and to revive the traditions where they were lost and pass on to our teaching to the future generations to come. My education, I do have a fine arts degree from Beaupre University. I studied a combination of subjects ranging from music, graphics, design. I also studied Michipicoten, which is the study of Ojibwe. And I also studied anthropology, 2 years of anthropology while I was there. Employment, I have a history of management experience working for the government, doing enumerating across Ontario, working in mainstream Canada and various First Nations. I'm currently employed at Ontario Lottery and Gaming as in the information technology department. In the past, I was part of the board of directors at the Indian Friendship Center here in Sault Ste. Marie, which coincidentally is right here in this building. Had a lot of good experiences as a board of directors when I was here. While sitting on the board, I was responsible for making group decisions for a number of issues ranging from finance to court cases, hiring committees, hiring of an executive director, and a wide range of other politics that arose as a board member. And as a board member, I was committed to listening to all concerns from employees and community members, and taking all aspects into consideration before making well-thought, careful, fair decisions, which is what I would like to do if I was elected as a council member for Michipicoten. As a councillor, I'll put all my attention and devotion into the band members and community. I'm a firm believer in equality and fairness. The time for community healing is now. Like I've noticed there's a lot of pain and hurt going on. I think in order for us to move forward, we have to begin with ourselves and start healing and start working with one another as a unit. Because without that, it can really stall us into moving forward in a positive direction. What I would like to see happen is I'd like for our community to be more involved with events that are happening not only within our community, but take part in events that are happening with Native communities right across Canada. For one thing, the missing and murdered Aboriginal women across Canada, to help raise awareness to mainstream Canada. 1,200 missing women is something not to be taken lightly. Having said that, Michipicoten to all the women in our community for being strong and for surviving through tragedies such as these. We need to be more vocal about protecting Mother Earth. I do believe developing an industry is important, but we need to do it in a responsible manner where we still have, fresh potable water and forestry for many generations to come. Whereas industries in the past have just come into our land and just taking and taking. There was, in the treaties, if you read the treaties, there's supposed to be profit sharing. None of the First Nations in Canada are supposed to be poor. They're supposed to be profit sharing with the industries, and we've seen maybe 0.01% of those profits where the profits were supposed to be at a 60-40 split. Of course, that never came to reality, and that's why we have poverty the way it is today. And we need to step up and put our foot down, saying no more stealing from our land, and it's time for fairness and sharing the way it should have been, and the way the trees are still there and exist today. I've heard people say that things changed over the years where they needed to ask for permission to leave the reserve. Well, to tell you the truth, it never should have been that way. We never should have let that happen, because on the first day the land was ours. The second day the treaties took place. The third day the land was still ours, so we didn't really gain anything from the treaties. It was all for them to give them safe passes onto our lands. And that's what people need to learn today, that we're the watchers and keepers of the land, not them, and that we're not to be treated as children. We need to put our foot down and let them know that we're the boss of the land, not them. And we need to stand together, not only with our community, but with all communities, Native communities right across Canada. That's where we'll gather our strength from. We need to stand up and be more vocal when finances are threatened as well for being non-compliant. I had a hard time believing that current Prime Minister even came up with rules such as that, threatening to cut off our supplies if we're not compliant with their demands. That is totally wrong. It's illegal, and it's against the treaties that we signed. I do believe in transparency, but not to the point where they're going to cut us off with all of our supplies. So we need to be more vocal, and we need to stand up and be strong to let them know that we're not going to tolerate any more of this disrespect. And another way I'm looking for is I guess telling us what to do. We have to let them know that we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere, and we have to start abiding by the treaties, because they're always trying to break their own laws, and just for their own profit. So if we do proper negotiations with land claims, or I don't know why we're doing land claims, because the land was always ours, so why are we claiming a land that was always ours? It never made sense to me. But we also, when we make more negotiations with industry, we have to make sure that we get our fair share and not let them rob us anymore, because it is our land that they're profiting from. Before we can accomplish any of this, we need to start healing within our own community. if something's going to be going right, we need to gather as brothers and sisters and resolve personal matters peacefully within ourselves. Like, I know there's a lot of tension within the community. I'm in the Sault, so I don't see a lot of it, but I hear a lot of it. And we need to start healing ourselves and start treating each other as brothers and sisters as we should be. And it's time to set aside all of our personal differences and start working together for bigger goals. And like as other people mentioned, we need to establish relationships with neighboring First Nation communities to develop industry that will benefit all First Nations across Canada. We have to stop depending on government handouts and start doing something for ourselves and make things happen ourselves, because as we see it, government handouts aren't working because we're in a state where poverty is a reality, but we have to change that around and create our own industry, but as I said, in a responsible manner. So I don't want to take any more of your time because we're running out of time. I want to give other candidates time to speak. But before I go, I'd like to say, in order for us to accomplish any of these goals, unity and working as a team is what's key to moving forward, to becoming a stronger community, to making a difference and to making things happen. If I'm elected as councillor to represent you, I will be your ears and your voice, and I'm here to listen to everyone, as everyone is equal. No one is more important than the next person. So I'll have an election.